century, it has one of the most extensive 13th century stained glass collections anywhere in the world. The Sainte-Chapelle is no longer a church. It was secularized after the French Revolution, and is now operated by the French Center of National Monuments, along with the nearby Conciergerie, the other remaining vestige of the original palace. The Palais Garnier, also known as Opéra Garnier, is a 1,979-seat opera house at the Place de l'Opéra in the 9th arrondissement of Paris, France. It was built for the Paris Opera from 1861 to 1875 at the behest of Emperor Napoleon III. Initially referred to as La Nouvelle Opéra de Paris, the New Paris Opera, it soon became known as the Palais Garnier, in acknowledgement of its extraordinary opulence and the architect Charles Garnier's plans and designs, which are representative of the Napoleon III style. It was the primary theatre of the Paris Opera and its associated Paris Opera Ballet until 1989, when a new opera house, the Opéra Bastille, opened at the Place de la Bastille. The company now uses the Palais Garnier mainly for ballet. The theatre has been a monument historique of France since 1923. The Eiffel Tower is a wrought iron lattice tower on the Champ de Mars in Paris, France. It is named after the engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose company designed and built the tower. Locally nicknamed La Dame de Fer, French for Iron Lady, it was constructed from 1887 to 1889 as the centerpiece of the 1889 World's Fair and was initially criticized by some of France's leading artists and intellectuals for its design. But it has become a global cultural icon of France and one of the most recognizable structures in the world. The Eiffel Tower is the most visited monument with an entrance fee in the world. 6.91 million people ascended it in 2015. The tower was made a monument historique in 1964 and named part of UNESCO World Heritage Site, Paris, Banks of the Seine, in 1991. The Musée de l'Orangerie is an art gallery of Impressionist and Post-Impressionist paintings located in the west corner of the Tuileries Gardens next to the Place de la Concorde in Paris. The museum is most famous as the permanent home of 8 large water lilies murals by Claude Monet, and also contains works by Paul Cézanne, Henri Matisse, Amedeo Modigliani, Pablo Picasso, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Henri Rousseau, Alfred Sisley, Chaim Soutine, Maurice Utrillo, and others. The Arc de Triomphe de l'Étoile is one of the most famous monuments in Paris, France, standing at the western end of the Champs-Élysées at the center of Place Charles de Gaulle. Formerly named Place de l'Étoile, the étoile or star of the juncture formed by its 12 radiating avenues. The location of the Arc and the plaza is shared between 3 arrondissements, 16th, South and West, 17th, North, and 8th, East. The Arc de Triomphe honors those who fought and died for France in the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars, with the names of all French victories and generals inscribed on its inner and outer surfaces. Beneath its vault lies the tomb of the unknown soldier from World War I. The Louvre, or the Louvre Museum, is the world's most visited museum, and a historic landmark in Paris, France. It is the home of some of the best-known works of art, including the Mona Lisa and the Venus de Milo. A central landmark of the city, it is located on the right bank of the Seine in the city's first arrondissement, district or ward. At any given point in time, approximately 38,000 objects from prehistory to the 21st century are being exhibited over an area of 72,735 square meters, 782,910 square feet. Attendance in 2021 was 2.8 million due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The museum was closed for 150 days in 2020, and attendance plunged by 72% to 2.7 million. Nonetheless, The Louvre still topped the list of most visited art museums in the world in 2021. Montmartre is a large hill in Paris's 18th arrondissement. It is 130 meters high and gives its name to the surrounding district, part of the right bank in the northern section of the city. The historic district established by the city of Paris in 1995 is bordered by Rue Caulaincourt and Rue Castine on the north, Rue de Clignancourt on the east, and Boulevard de Clichy and Boulevard de Rochechouart to the south, containing 60 hectares. Montmartre is primarily known for its artistic history, the white-domed Basilica of the Sacré-Coeur on its summit, and as a nightclub district. The other church on the hill, Saint-Pierre de Montmartre, built in 1147, was the church of the prestigious Montmartre Abbey. On August 15, 1534, Saint Ignatius of Loyola, Saint Francis Xavier and 5 other companions bound themselves by vows in the martyrium of Saint Denis, 11 Rue Avant l'Attaque, the first step in the creation of the Jesuits. The Seine is a 777-kilometer-long river in northern France. Its drainage basin is in the Paris Basin, covering most of northern France. It rises at Source Seine, 30 kilometers northwest of Dijon in northeastern France in the Langres Plateau, flowing through Paris and into the English Channel at Le Havre. It is navigable by ocean-going vessels as far as Rouen, 120 kilometers, 75 miles, from the sea. Over 60% of its length, as far as Burgundy, is negotiable by large barges and most tour boats, and nearly its whole length is available for recreational boating. Excursion boats offer sightseeing tours of the river banks in the capital city. There are 37 bridges in Paris across the Seine, the most famous of which are the Pont Alexandre III and the Pont Neuf, and dozens more outside the city. A notable bridge, which is also the last along the course of the river, is the Pont de Normandie, the 9th longest cable-stayed bridges in the world, which links Le Havre and Honfleur. The Jardin du Luxembourg, known in English as the Luxembourg Garden, colloquially referred to as the Jardin du Sénat, is located in the 6th arrondissement of Paris, France. Creation of the garden began in 1612 when Marie de Medici, the widow of King Henry IV, constructed the Luxembourg Palace as her new residence. The garden today is owned by the French Senate, which meets in the palace. It covers 23 hectares, 56.8 acres, and is known for its lawns, tree-lined promenades, tennis courts, flower beds, model sailboats on its octagonal grand bassin, as well as picturesque Medici fountain, built in 1620. The Basilica of the Sacred Heart of Paris, commonly known as Sacré-Coeur Basilica and often simply Sacré-Coeur, is a Roman Catholic church and minor basilica in Paris, France, dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Sacré-Coeur Basilica is located at the summit of the Butte Montmartre, the highest point in the city, and the second most visited monument in Paris. Sacré-Coeur Basilica has maintained a perpetual adoration of the Holy Eucharist since 1885. The basilica was designed by Paul Abadie. Construction began in 1875 and was completed in 1914. The basilica was consecrated after the end of World War I in 1919. It is considered as both a political and cultural monument, representing a national penance for the defeat of France in the 1870 Franco-Prussian War and for the actions of the Paris Commune of 1871. The Musée Rodin in Paris, France, is a museum that was opened in 1919, primarily dedicated to the works of the French sculptor Auguste Rodin. It has 2 sites, the Hôtel Baronne and surrounding grounds in central Paris, as well as just outside Paris at Rodin's old home, the Villa des Brilliants at Meudon, Hauts-de-Seine. The collection includes 6,600 sculptures, 8,000 drawings, 8,000 old photographs and 7,000 objets d'art. The museum receives 700,000 visitors annually. While living in the Villa des Brilliants, Rodin used the Hôtel Baronne as his workshop from 1908, and subsequently donated his entire collection of sculptures, along with paintings by Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet and Pierre-Auguste Renoir that he had acquired, to the French state on the condition that they turn the buildings into a museum dedicated to his works. The Musée Rodin contains most of Rodin's significant creations, including The Thinker, The Kiss and The Gates of Hell. Many of his sculptures are displayed in the museum's extensive garden. The museum includes a room dedicated to the works of Camille Claudel and one of the two castings of The Mature Age. The fashionable Marais district in the 4th arrondissement, also known as Soma, South Marais, is filled with hip boutiques, galleries, and gay bars. Once the city's Jewish quarter, the area still hosts numerous kosher restaurants. The grassy Place des Vosges is home to elegant arcades and the Musée Victor Hugo, where the writer lived. Streets around Saint-Paul Metro lead to the Maison Européenne de la Photographie. Once shabby, the district has been rehabilitated and now sports trendy shopping and restaurants in streets such as Rue des Francs Bourgeois and Rue des Rosiers. The Marais is now one of Paris' main localities for art galleries. Following its rehabilitation, the Marais has become a fashionable district, home to many trendy restaurants, fashion houses, and hip galleries. The Marais is also known for its Chinese community. The community began to form during World War I. At that time, France needed workers to replace its at-war soldiers, and China decided to send a few thousand of its citizens on the condition that they would not take part in the war. After the 1918 victory, some of them stayed in Paris, living around the current Rue aux Marais. Today, most work in jewelry and leather-related products. The Marais Chinese community has settled in the north of the district.